Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Thank you all for joining tonight for the Vajrasattva practice. I think most of you are familiar with this, but I'll guide you through it if you're new. Let's just start by kind of setting our motivation. We will touch on bodhicitta shortly, one of the opponent powers that we are applying in this purification practice. But we need to cultivate that motivation before we begin as well. And just recall that every one of us has the potential to develop ourselves into the state of a Buddha, the state where we will be able to benefit all sentient beings. So while we might do this purification out of a desire to not experience the consequences of our negative actions, we can also do it with that overarching motivation of wanting to be a benefit to all beings, wanting to develop ourselves into the state of Buddhahood. So we then can work perfectly to help all sentient beings to achieve that same state. And think that it's for that reason that we're engaging in this purification practice. So again, we have the 4 opponent powers that we'll go through one at a time in terms of the practice tonight. And generally, I'd like to begin with regret. So regret, again, is not feeling guilty about the things that we've done. It's acknowledging, kind of taking responsibility for how we have been unskillful in our actions of body, speech, and mind in particular. So let's recall kind of the things that we have engaged in, particularly since the last time we purified. Perhaps for many of you, it was in about 24 hours ago. But you essentially want to take a look at the actions you might have engaged in, particularly the 10 non-virtues, the 3 of body, any killing you might have done, taking the lives of any beings, insects, what have you, stealing, taking things that are not offered to you. And finally, of the body, there's inappropriate sexual conduct, sexual behavior. Any times that we've not used our behavior, sexuality in a skillful way with others. And then any other things we might have done physically with our bodies that would have harmed other beings. Again, recall those of the past 24 hours, but also recall things we might have done in this life, or even inferring what we might have done in other lifetimes under the control of our delusions, the ways that we engaged in physical behavior that was unskillful and harmful to others, and generate regret for those actions. And then the next group, the group of negativities of speech. So here we have the 4 that we often engage in, beginning with lying, deceiving others with what we say or communicate to them, text to them, email to them, however it is we communicate. We've been unskillful in not telling the entire truth to others. We also have been unskillful in dividing others with our speech. And we've also engaged in harsh speech, where we have used our words as a tool to harm others. And then finally, the least powerful of these, but perhaps something we engage in much more frequently, what we call meaningless speech, idle talk, engaging in all kinds of speaking for hours and so on without really any purpose or meaning. So here too, do the same thing. Recall what you might have done in the past 24 hours since you last purified, as well as other actions of speech that you still feel you need to purify from this life, and inferring what we might have done in previous lives under the control of our karma and delusions, and generate regret. And then thirdly, we recall negativities of mind. The 3 that are among the 10 non-virtues are covetousness, malicious intent, and wrong views. These kind of parallel the minds of attachment, the covetousness that is a product of that, where we are desiring things that other people possess. The mind of anger that is manifested in malicious intent, where we are aiming to harm others. And then the third one is rooted in our ignorance, having a wrong view, holding that things that the Buddha says exist don't exist, or things that the Buddha says don't exist actually exist. So anytime that we've cultivated a view that is opposing to the truth that the Buddha taught, we have created that type of seed. All three of these are purely mental, though they can lead to other actions, but we regret them as well. And think about the past 24 hours, again, since you last purified, as well as any other occasions in this life, especially where you've had repeated behavior in regard to any of these three. Generate that regret, also inferring that you might have done these in other lifetimes, but generate a mind of remorse that wishes to turn away from these and purify these negativities. Then, if you do have vows, if you've taken the lay vows, or if you've taken bodhisattva vows, tantric vows, and if you've transgressed those vows in any way, either a minor transgression or uprooting them entirely, then you want to also confess that, bring that to mind, generate the same regret, and have, again, a wish to purify those negativities that are very powerful when we have broken our vows. So then we go on to the second opponent power, which is reliance, which consists of refuge and bodhicitta. And so we're going to take refuge in particular in the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, manifesting in the form of our Guru Vajrasattva, who is the same essence also of all of our gurus, our spiritual teachers. So on the screen is the solitary Vajrasattva figure that we can visualize. I'm going to visualize this above the crown of our heads. And Guru Vajrasattva is this brilliant white light. Try to think of him in a three-dimensional form rather than in the two-dimensional form that's appearing before you. He's made of that radiant, blissful white light and sitting on cross-legged on a white lotus. His face is radiant and beautiful. His eyes are peaceful, full of love and compassion, directed towards us and all sentient beings. His mouth is red. His hair is black, held up in a top knot. And his arms are crossed at his heart, the right on the outside, that is holding a vajra, and the left underneath, holding a bell. Again, the right holding vajra, the vajra symbolizes the method, compassion side of the path, whereas the bell being held by the left signifies wisdom. And their being crossed represents the union of this kind of blissful wisdom that we need to develop on the path, uniting our wisdom and compassion. So take a moment to stabilize the visualization of Guru Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. And hold the thought that Vajrasattva is your root guru, the holy mind of all the Buddhas, who out of his unbearable compassion, which embraces you and all other sentient beings, now appears in this form to help purify you as well as all others. And really feel the presence of Guru Vajrasattva regardless of how well or poorly you are visualizing. So don't let that stop you from feeling that you are definitely in the presence of this holy being who can help you to purify. On a moon disk at Vajrasattva's heart stands a Hung syllable, encircled by a garland of the 100-syllable mantra that we'll be reciting. Again, you don't need to have perfect visualization of that, but just try to hold the view of this flat moon disk with the Vajrasattva mantra going around on the edge and the syllable Hung, white syllable Hung in the center. So now you invite the wisdom beings to merge with your visualization. And so we make a request for these beings to come forward and visualize that light goes out from the Hung at Guru Vajrasattva's heart in all 10 directions and hooks the energy of the holy body, holy speech, and holy mind of all the enlightened beings that exist. And the light comes back and dissolves into the heart of Guru Vajrasattva, who now embodies all their energy. And he's even more brilliant and blissful than before. So now to articulate the sense of refuge that we are cultivating as part of this opponent power of reliance, we will recite the refuge verse 3 times together. I go for refuge until I am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By my practice of giving and other perfections, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By my practice of giving and other perfections, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By my practice of giving and other perfections, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. Sorry, I just realized I didn't get that on screen. I thought I had pulled it up on screen. I will pull up the prayers later again, but as those verses said, we are taking heartfelt refuge in the three jewels in the form of Guru Vajrasattva, and then also generating the mind of bodhicitta. And as part of this power of reliance, strengthen that mind of bodhicitta. Really feel that you are here doing this practice for the benefit of all beings, those beings particularly that we've harmed through our actions, so we can repair that relationship as well, restoring our faith in the three jewels and restoring our wish to benefit others out of our compassion. So now we will engage in the third power, the power of the actual remedy. And we're going to do this in 3 phases, beginning with the purification of our body. So here, recalling all those negativities that you regretted earlier, that you committed with your body. Bring those to mind and think that all those negativities are now going to be purified as we recite the mantra with the downward visualization. This downward purification happens by Guru Vajrasattva sending out powerful white nectar, like water coming out of a hose very forcefully, goes from his heart and kind of arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. It keeps coming, forcing out of your lower orifices all the harm that you've ever done to any living being with your body. That is kind of dispelled in the form of inky liquid, black liquid, which pours out of you and disappears into space. Not one atom left. So we will recite the mantra together 7 times with this visualization, purifying our bodies. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Denopatita Dido Me Bhava Sutokayo Me Bhava Supokayo Me Bhava Anurakto Me Bhava Sarva Siddhim Memparyatsa Sarva Karma Sutsame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sarva Tathagata Vajramame Monsa Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajra Sattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajra Sattva Denopatita Dido Me Bhava Sutokayo Me Bhava Supokayo Me Bhava Anurakto Me Bhava Sarva Siddhim Memparyatsa Sarva Karma Sutsame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sarva Tathagata Vajramame Monsa Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajra Sattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajra Sattva Denopatita Dido Me Bhava Sutokayo Me Bhava Supokayo Me Bhava Anurakto Me Bhava Sarva Siddhim Memparyatsa Sarva Karma Sutame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sarva Tathagata Vajramame Monsa Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Denobatita Dido Me Bawa Sutokayo Me Bawa Supokayo Me Bawa Anuraktu Me Bawa Sarva Siddhim Mempariyata Sarva Karma Sutame Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sarva Tatta Gata Vajramame Monsa Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Denopatita Dido Me Bhava Sutokayo Me Bhava Supokayo Me Bhava Anurakto Me Bhava Sarva Siddhim Mempariyatsa Sarva Karma Sutame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sarva Tattagata Vajramame Monsa Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Te Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Denopatita Dido Me Bhava Sutokayo Me Bhava Supokayo Me Bhava Anurakto Me Bhava Sarva Siddhim Me Parayata Sarva Karma Sutame Titam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sarva Tattagata Vajramame Monsa Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Denopatita Dido Me Bhava Sutokayo Me Bhava Supokayo Me Bhava Anurakto Me Bhava Sarva Siddhim Me Pariyatsa Sarva Karma Sutsame Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sarva Tattagata Vajramame Monsa Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe. So have complete confidence that without a doubt, every single negativity of body that we have regretted has been completely purified. Not a trace left. Really feel this kind of freedom from all those negativities of body that you have committed. And think that there is nothing that you can do with your body now except benefit others. It becomes a vehicle for helping others in so many wonderful ways. And we go on to the next phase, the purification of speech. So here we do the same visualization in terms of light coming, white light coming from Vajrasattva's heart that arcs around and enters the crown of our head. But here we're purifying our negativities that we've committed through our speech, especially those that we've regretted earlier, all the negativities that we have engaged in, where we've harmed ourselves and others through unskillful speech. And all of that kind of floats up to the top of our body as the white nectar fills ourselves from the bottom up. So it's like a vase that is filling with water, and all the sediment at the bottom of the base is coming up, rising up to the top, and it exits through our upper orifices. So that, again, the negativity we created through our speech in particular flows back out through our mouths, all those negativities entering into space in front of us and completely disappearing as we recite the Vajrasattva mantra 7 times. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Denopatita Dido Me Bhava Sutokayo Me Bhava Supokayo Me Bhava Anuraktu Me Bhava Sarva Siddhim Me Pariyatsa Sarva Karma Sutsame Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sarva Tattagata Vajramame Monsa Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Denopatita Dido Me Bhava Sutokayo Me Bhava Supokayo Me Bhava Anurakto Me Bhava Sarva Siddhim Mempariyatsa Sarva Karma Sutsame Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sarva Tattagata Vajramame Monsa Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Denopatita Tido Me Bawa Sutokayo Me Bawa Supokayo Me Bawa Anurakto Me Bawa Sarva Siddhim Me Paryatsa Sarva Karma Sutame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sarva Tatta Gata Vajramame Monsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahung Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Denopatita Tido Me Bawa Sutokayo Me Bawa Supokayo Me Bawa Anurakto Me Bawa Sarva Siddhim Memparyatsa Sarva Karma Sutame Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sarva Tattagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sattva Ahung Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Denopatita Tido Me Bawa Sutokayo Me Bawa Supokayo Me Bawa Anuraktu Me Bawa Sarva Siddha Me Paryatsa Sarva Karma Sutame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hung Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sarva Tattagata Vajramame Monsa Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sattva Ahung Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Denopatita Tido Me Bawa Sutokayo Me Bawa Supokayo Me Bawa Anuraktu Me Bawa Sarva Siddhim Me Paryatsa Sarva Karma Sutsame Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sarva Tattagata Vajramame Munsa Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Denopatita Tido Me Bawa Sutokayo Me Bawa Supokayo Me Bawa Anuraktu Me Bawa Sarva Siddhim Me Paryata Sarva Karma Sutsame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hung Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sarva Tattagata Vajramame Monsa Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sattva Ahung Pe. So think once more, without a doubt, all the negativities of speech we've committed that we regretted been completely purified, not a trace left. Here too, there's nothing we can do with our speech now except benefit others, saying things that are honest and skillful and beneficial for them. And we lastly go on to the purification of our minds. So here too, same visualization of powerful beams of white light that come from Guru Vajrasattva's heart chakra. They arc around, enter your own crown chakra, filling your entire being. And just like when you turn on a light in a room, the darkness is instantly dispelled. So just as the light hits your heart chakra as it descends down into you, the darkness of the negativity of your mind, all the three non-virtues of mind that we regretted, as well as all the negativities of attachment, anger, ignorance, jealousy, depression, whatever, these have all been completely purified. Think that they disappear immediately as we recite the Vajrasattva mantra 7 times. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Denopatita Dido Me Bawa Sutokayo Me Bawa Supokayo Me Bawa Anurakto Me Bawa Sarva Siddhim Me Paryatsa Sarva Karma Sutsame Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sarva Tattagata Vajramame Munsa Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sattva Ahung Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Denopatita Tido Me Bawa Sutokayo Me Bawa Supokayo Me Bawa Anurakto Me Bawa Sarva Siddhim Me Paryatsa Sarva Karma Sutame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hung Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sarva Tattagata Vajramame Monsa Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sattva Ahung Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Tenopatita Tido Me Bhava Sutokayo Me Bhava Supokayo Me Bhava Anuraktu Me Bhava Sarva Siddhim Me Parayata Sarva Karma Sutame Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sarva Tata Gata Vajramame Monta Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Tenopatita Tido Me Bhava Sutokayo Me Bhava Supokayo Me Bhava Anurakto Me Bhava Sarva Siddhim Me Paryata Sarva Karma Sutame Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hung Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sarva Tattagata Vajramame Monta Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sattva Ahung Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Tenopatita Dido Me Bhava Sutokayo Me Bhava Supokayo Me Bhava Anurakto Me Bhava Sarva Siddhim Me Paryata Sarva Karma Sutame Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sarva Tattagata Vajramame Monsa Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Tenopatita Tido Me Bhava Sutokayo Me Bhava Supokayo Me Bhava Anurakto Me Bhava Sarva Siddhim Me Paryata Sarva Karma Sutame Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sarva Tattagata Vajramame Munta Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Tenopatita Dido Me Bhava Sutokayo Me Bhava Supokayo Me Bhava Anuraktu Me Bhava Sarva Siddhim Me Paryata Sarva Karma Sutame Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sarva Tattagata Vajramame Monta Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe. So hold that same thought that all the negativities of mind have been completely purified, as well as the subtle imprints on our minds from all the negativities we've engaged in since beginningless time. And think that there's no space in your heart now for anything but all the positive qualities of love and kindness, wisdom, compassion, and so on. You only benefit others through all of your thoughts and actions. Then we will quickly engage in the fourth opponent power, which is the power of resolve, where we make a commitment to refrain from these negativities as best as we can. So, recalling the negativities that you are working with, especially the 10 non virtues, as well as our vows, we make a commitment to not engage in these again, as again, for whatever period of time we can commit. If we've taken vows, and we need to reaffirm that we will hold those vows purely and not make a time limit at all. But if there are some actions that we need some more time to work with because of our habitual engagement in those, then we're kind to ourselves in agreeing to refrain from them for a few minutes, an hour, a half a day, whatever it is that we can. So just spend a minute or two in silence, thinking about how you are going to refrain from those actions for some period of time in the future. And then visualize that Guru Vajrasattva now dissolves into you, entering through your crown, becoming one with your body, speech, and mind. To really feel this kind of union of your own body, speech, and mind with that of all the holy beings, especially your own gurus. And then also reflect on emptiness, that in emptiness there is no I, creator of these negativities, no actions created, no objects of our action, and so on. Emptiness is the final purification, the way that we remove all of these tendencies, all the subtle imprints in our minds. And then rejoice. Rejoice in having engaged in this practice, as well as all the positive things that you have done with this life, as you have engaged in positivity today, as well as throughout this life, the positive actions we've done to benefit others. And then we dedicate all these merits we've created in the following way. And due to the merits of these virtuous actions, may we quickly attain the state of a Guru Buddha and lead all living beings without exception into that enlightened state. May the supreme jewel bodhicitta that has not arisen arise and grow, and may that which has arisen not diminish, but increase more and more. We dedicate also for the good health and long life of His Holiness the Dalai Lama and all of our precious teachers, as well as for the very swift identification of the reincarnation of Lama Zopa Rinpoche, so we can once more have him in our presence in whatever form he is taking, so that we can benefit from that and all beings can benefit from him in this world again. And then also dedicate for any beings that you're holding in your heart right now. Just mentally send that positive energy out to those beings and think that they receive it, become free from their suffering, and experience everything that will bring them ultimate bliss and happiness. And may all beings have these same results through what we've done together here tonight. Okay, thank you. Went 1 minute over. It's not too bad for me. Okay, everyone. Thank you so much. Have a good rest of today, wherever you're at. Some of you might be heading to bed, but just go to bed with a very peaceful, happy mind, then knowing that you've done this practice. All right, everyone, be well. I'll see you again. Take care now.